In 2000, we bought an abandoned 100-acre farm in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. We spent years cleaning it up, built a new house, and now are trying to make it a functional homestead farm. Welcome to Red Tool House.
Well, hello everyone. Happy New Year! Welcome back to Red Tool House. We are excited about 2018. What we're really going to see is how loyal you are in watching Red Tool House videos as they come out. Because as this is released, obviously, it is 4:30 on New Year's Day. So there may or may not be a football game on or two. So we'll see how many people actually watch us in lieu of football. What do you think, Kelly? Think you may watch?
I think it's pretty slim.
This may be the day after. Okay, so we hope everyone has had a wonderful holiday time. Merry Christmas to all. Happy New Year, all that good stuff. We really wanted to start 2018 with a video January 1st to really get the momentum going straight out of the gate. So some real quick announcements that we want to make. Our web store is now live, so if you go to redtoolhouse.com, you'll see a link at the top for store. And in there we have some of our apparel, some of our branded apparel, some of the stuff that you've seen before. We also have some of the stuff that we really like that we use on the homestead that isn't necessarily branded. It's just stuff that we have available that we've made available for you as well. And also, if you're a local customer, you can buy pork cuts. We wanted to add that convenience. People are always asking, what do you have? How much do you have left? What are the weights? Those type of things. So now people can go to the website, see those specific cuts. They can order those, pay for them online, and then we'll obviously work out a delivery schedule. So those for our local customers only, obviously.
And you can also check out our affiliates link to Amazon on our homepage now.
Yep, we have that live. And we also want to encourage you to last month we started our homestead survey, and it was just an opportunity for us to get to know the people that watch our videos better. And we're going to share this survey results with you all because it's very interesting. It's really
very interesting.
Yeah, we've been amazed with some of the feedback we've been getting. It's a simple 10-question survey. I think it takes less than 2 minutes to take. And
it's been very helpful.
It has. It's really allowed us to help kind of craft the direction that we're going in 2018 and then kind of see where we've missed and providing information for people and just talking about certain subjects. But if you want to take that survey, there'll be a link in the show description below. And of course, we'll also pop the link up right here. So check that out. If you take the survey, and if you choose to at the end, I think it's the 10th question, is an opportunity to put in your email. So if you put in your email, then you're going to go into our bucket of emails that we'll draw, and we're going to give away this really nice Storm Tech parka, and I'll put it right here over top of Kelly's face. No, I'll put it right over here over top of my face. I'll put it over here, maybe somewhere over here. Storm Tech parka, a chance to win that really nice coat. So we're going to run the survey through January. We'll do the drawing at the end of January. Hopefully with this weird weather we've been having it, while it's 0 degrees now and you hear the 1st of January, maybe it won't be 80 degrees in February, and the parka will still have some value to people. So check that out. We really appreciate the feedback there. So the core topic of this video to kick off the new year is resolutions. Now, we're not going to get into the cliche resolutions that everybody talks about. Have you made any New Year's resolutions?
No.
None? No. I thought about making a resolution. I wanted to bulk up. I wanted to put on more weight. Everybody always talks about dropping weight.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really looking to bulk up here. I figure I could gain a couple more chins, still have room for another chin or two.
Nice.
No. Resolution was to wear pants more often. So
That's our resolution for you.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've gotten a lot of requests. People say, Troy, are you doing New Year's resolutions? No, well, we've got some suggestions for you. Perfect. No, resolutions. I've never been a New Year's resolution kind of guy. You haven't been either, right? We really don't get into that.
Just slight, yeah. I mean, just better organized.
Is it because we're losers and we just don't?
No.
We should always be striving to be better no matter what time of year it is, right?
Right.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's what I'll go with. So in the line of New Year's resolutions, we thought now would be a great time, however, to discuss and kick off what we're calling our Red Tool House Food Spending Challenge. And what is that? Well, without a bunch of pomp and circumstance, it's basically just an opportunity to look at this overall goal. Homesteaders like to forecast, or they like to set goals to say, how much food can I produce on my homestead keep me from buying at the grocery store. So I'm going to reduce the amount of food I buy at the grocery store while producing more food on my homestead. And again, that's a very noble goal, and we like to look at that and think, man, how do we do that? How do we become more self-reliant when it comes to our food? That way, if we have a spaghetti hits the fan moment, we've got food stores, we know how to provide, we've got that taken care of, we're reducing costs, all those type of things.
Yeah.
But how do you even do that? Where do you start? That was the question that you and I kept throwing back and forth.
Yeah. Well, I think that we've talked about, first of all, you got to get a handle on what you're currently doing, and so some goals that we've had are see what we're spending and see what we're spending it on, and be able to say, obviously, we want to be able to produce more of our food at home for many reasons. Save us money, to eat healthier. So just looking at our overall spending and what are we purchasing from this store, I think is just going to give us a lot of information on where we want to go.
Yeah, that's a great point. And that's where we want to kick off. It's you really can't set a goal to say this is where I want to go until you know where you really are. So, and of course now here in January for us Northern Hemisphere people, in January it's not like you can say, well, yeah, I'm going to stop going to the store, I'm going to start growing this right now. Well, in January you're not growing anything unless you've got a greenhouse or you've got special circumstance. So now's the time to see where are we, and that's why we've come up with this spreadsheet, and we want to make this spreadsheet available on our website. So if you go to redtoolhouse.com on the homepage, down where we have our blog post, you'll see there's a blog that's associated with this video topic as well. But in that blog is an opportunity to download these spreadsheets, and I say spreadsheets, there's different formats. But you can download the spreadsheet and you can play along with us as we do this, because we're going to do this ourselves. Mm-hmm. Okay, so for this challenge, who are we encouraging, who are we suggesting should be a part of this challenge? Well, actually, we feel our entire audience should be. Even if those people that say, I never want to homestead, I just like watching you guys do stuff, there's still some good food management practices in this. But for those of you that are homesteading already, I'd like to ask you this question. Right now, what percentage of food do you think you raise on your homestead? So you think about, of all the food that you consume, what percentage is homegrown? And you put that number in your head, maybe even write that down. Unless you've really gone through all of this and really tracked this data, I would suggest that your number could be off, because we've tried that and we've realized that our number's off pretty far. So write that number down, and then if you take this challenge with us, then you can actually start to add this stuff up and see how close you were with that number. But what about those that aren't homesteading, Kel?
Well, I think it's helpful for everyone. I mean, because you're going to be tracking your expenses, so you're going to see, even if you aren't homesteading, you're still going to be able to see, maybe you're not aware of what you're spending money on, or really how much processed food you're eating. But it can also help you, and hopefully help us with seeing what foods we want to be prepared. Do we want to do more canning at home? Do we want to do more building our pantry? Do we want to be, just so you don't have to be a homesteader, obviously, to see where you need to be spending your money or where you don't need to be spending your money.
Yeah, it's interesting. And again, we'll refer to our survey. Like I said, we've gotten a lot of great data from that. Our survey shows that over 50% of our viewers don't have their homestead property yet, but they want to. They're striving for that goal. So these are some things that you may not be on your homestead property now, but these are things that can help you in preparation. So you can be more prepared when you hit the ground running on your property. So as Kelly mentioned, you're canning, making things from scratch, food storage, those type of things. You can start figuring out that game plan now based upon your current grocery shopping habits.
Right. And for those of us that aren't, couponers or so have our budget down so tightly, and we'd like to get it a little more tightly, this is going to be able to show us where we need to improve. So.
Yeah. So the object of this goal is not to say, okay, stop spending. If you discover you spend, say you spend $500 a month in groceries, and you say, okay, well, Troy's going to say next month spend 25% less than that. No, that's not what we're saying here. We're just saying let's identify right now. Keep on. Do what you do. And then we'll address those things. We want to come back each month and revisit this with a brief discussion and kind of do an update. But we're not saying, hey, just slash based on percentage. We want to have an analytical analysis, if you will. That's kind of redundant, isn't it? Analytical analysis. We want to analyze what you're buying, because, well, we'll use an example here. Let's say corn. Our family does eat corn. Now, should we be eating this much corn? Maybe you should be eating less. But the way our homestead's set up, I really don't have the capability of growing a lot of corn. Any flat land or garden area that I'd have for corn
Nor have we had great success in the past.
Right, yeah, it's an issue. So you can say, well, if you buy a lot of corn, then instead of buying that in the future, maybe you say, well, let's grow some. Well, if you're like us and you can't grow it, maybe you can find some other people that are growing non-GMO, organic corn, something that you would feed your family or want to feed your family, and work out a barter there. Maybe you're good at raising this and they raise the corn. You can do that. Or maybe you're just going to the farmer's market and you found a good source for non-GMO, good quality corn. You're just going to buy that in bulk and bring it back and prepare it, freeze it, can it, do whatever. So those are the kind of the outcomes from this study that we want to encourage people to do, is look at your purchase habits. Because if you're like us, as you get into this time of year, January, we're getting all excited, and we're going to do our farm meeting soon.
And we have all of our
we got our seed catalogs in. We're all excited. It's like, oh, I want to plant this, I want to plant that. And we plant a bunch of stuff and well, we don't even like that. We hardly ever eat that stuff. You end up having, maybe if you have a bumper crop, then you have a bunch well, you haven't really planned on this. We're going to give a bunch away. And it's just not good planning. But if we say, wow, we really we would eat a lot more of X if we had it and it was organically raised, it was raised here. So this is kind of the outcome of this. So let's talk about the benefits of this challenge. And Kelly and I tried to enumerate these when we were putting all this together. So the obvious benefit, of course, you're going to save money by buying less food. If we analyze where we are with the goal of raising more on our homestead, then that's going to get our buying down. We're going to save money and we can put that elsewhere toward our homestead goals. Hopefully we're eating healthier food. Because we talk about this all the time, Kel, when we go to the grocery store, do you buy, as Michael Pollan says, when you go to the grocery store, don't buy in the center of the grocery store, go around to the edge and just buy, because the center, of course, is where all your processed foods are. And if you could get in the habit of buying less processed food, then the better off you are. And of course, processed food's not only not the best for you health-wise, because 90% of them are full of all kinds of funk and funny stuff, but if you eliminate processed foods, you can start to make some of these things from scratch yourself, right, and obviously be better quality, and you're getting raw ingredients and all the things, the benefits that come from that. And with that being said, another goal of this challenge is, hopefully it's going to encourage you to learn new recipes and try new meal prep processes. Try out new things, like your Instapot that you've got has already kicked off this creativity of cooking for you and trying new recipes.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, so you can see, okay, well, if I had this tool that could help me do this, cast iron cooking, all those type of things that can add to the benefits there. And of course, we're going to learn how to store food, because I think we're going to see in this challenge as we get into this that if we can buy food, even if we're buying food, but we buy it in bulk, we can store it. If we're growing stuff, we can store it. If we're bartering with people, we barter in bulk so we can store it. So looking at food stores. So this really helps with self-reliance. It makes you more self-reliant if you're in control of your food stores. One thing that's always been a challenge for us is meal scheduling. You may find that, okay, in this process, I can streamline this even more if we really start scheduling our meals.
Yes, and I've tried, that's just been a big that's just been a big issue for me. So, and I don't know why, but I just get in the habit of each week going to the store and just picking up the things that I know that we're out of, and maybe a couple of quick meals that I know that I can put together with things that we typically have on hand. I've been using, many of you may be familiar with Trello.com. They have a free website and also a free app that you can use for scheduling, but we use that for homeschooling, but we also use it for meal planning. And so I've just made a list of all of the meals, or a good bit of the meals that we eat on a regular basis, and then just try to see, okay, pick from the meals that we haven't had so recently so that we can change it up a little bit. But that's just been a recent thing for me. So meal planning's been an issue.
Well, and in all fairness, meal planning works the best when you're not being tossed about like a rudderless ship. When your husband comes in and says, "Hey, we're going to go do this tonight. We're going to do that." And you're like, "Well, I was making this. No, let's go. We got to go out here and pick this up or get this thing." And so it does make it tough, because meal schedules, of course, require you to be home to prepare and to eat the meal. So if you've got a bunch of other things going on, so it's kind of a seasonal life thing. How busy is your schedule? But it does help because we've even found in a situation where we'll open up our freezer and I'm looking for X, and then you kind of dig around. What's this? Is this Jimmy Hoffa? No. What is this? This is something you bought a month ago and we were going to have, but it just never made the cut. So it's one of those things. It's like, okay, if I'm storing stuff in my freezer that I don't even know I have, then how inefficient is that? So meal prep would really help there. And again, whether you're 100% or you're at least trying to get off the ground with that as well, that would be great. And one thing for those of you guys that like to measure the size of your carbon footprint, I think mine's about 11 and a half, 12 inches is kind of where my footprint is right now. No, for those of you guys that like to keep track of your carbon footprint, obviously the less food you buy in the store, the less obviously time you're driving to the grocery store, but the less requirements you're putting on trucking companies to bring food to these grocery stores. So you can think about that. You're doing your small part to reduce your carbon footprint there.
And we're not reinventing the wheel here. Obviously, people have been budgeting and making spreadsheets forever. So this is where we are for us right now. And what we want to begin, and why not begin in the new year? So we're going to start January 1st as well and be tracking our expenses to see, we have a rough idea, but obviously we're going to be able to see where we're wrong on where we're spending. So we're going to be keeping all of our receipts to enter into our spreadsheet, see what we're spending it on. We're going to do updates regularly to just kind of show you where we are, what we've tweaked. Obviously, we're going to provide spreadsheets for the whole year of 2018, but it's really just to get you started. So, start on the first spreadsheet and or your own spreadsheet and just begin to track your expenses. And within a couple of months, you're obviously going to see what your habits are and what you want to change.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of funny. I'd say, I don't know if I'd call it arrogance, but I feel it. It's like, well, we've got this nailed down. We've done quite a bit of this because we don't buy protein at the store. In my mind, I thought, well, I raise my own pork, I raise my own chicken, we get eggs, barter for beef, or we work out a deal for beef. So I really don't. I've got all the protein taken care of. Everything else is secondary. Well, protein may be your largest expense when you look at the unit price of groceries, but when it comes to bulk, the overall food that you consume, the overall food that you consume, what you consider tonnage, if you will, protein is obviously a smaller portion of that. These other things, and if you would go through our pantry right now, and in full disclosure, we do have processed foods. It's not like we are completely devoid of processed foods. We'd like to be to that point.
And we do eat out, and we don't always eat healthily, but obviously you got to start somewhere. So, cutting back where you can, and just little steps. And I mean, that's what it's always been for us, is little steps here and there to help us to get better and better, not just completely change your lifestyle all at once. I don't think you can stick to it that easy. No, that becomes a cliche New Year's resolution where 2 months later you're like, forget this, or 2 weeks later you're like, forget this, I don't want anything to do with it. So where do we want you to start? Well, again, as Kelly mentioned, we're going to start this with you. So today, is January 1. That's where we're going to start. So if, Kelly hasn't gone to the grocery store today, obviously, it's New Year's Day, but any grocery purchases going forward, she's just going to put those in the spreadsheet. So if she goes to the grocery store, say this Friday, she'll put that date in. She'll put the store that she went to. She'll list from her receipt all of the items that she purchased, the unit price for those, because sometimes you may buy more than one item. You may buy multiple things of oats or ACV or whatever. So you're going to put those in there, the unit price, the number that you purchased. The spreadsheet will do the math to the right there for you. And you just keep tallying that for the month. So when you get through all of January, you'll be able to see, okay, how many times did I go to the store? Because there should be a date entry. How many different stores did I go to? How many total products did I buy? So you get an idea of the bulk of what you purchased. But then you also get an idea, of course, the running total of what you've spent for that month. So it'll be interesting to see when you look at January, how much did I spend for January? How much did I spend for February? How much did I spend for March? You'll be able to see, are you seasonal? Are you pretty much right on track? Are you all over the place? But one thing we want to encourage is leave off non-consumables. So your toiletries, your dog food, your toothpaste, all that type of stuff, leave that out. If you want to track that separately, then obviously just go to the right there and add those up as well. But leave that part out. And Kelly mentioned eating out earlier. Leave that out as well.
But you can't just totally discount that and say, well, we eat out 15 times a month, so our grocery spending is really, really low.
We spend $20 a month at the grocery store.
Yeah, exactly. If that's the case, if you eat out a lot, then we can address that later. But don't include that in your running total. But you may want to keep a side note of that. I mean, we do eat out. We probably eat out once or twice a week. Maybe not that much. Maybe on average 1.5 times a week. Yeah. Sometimes after church, and then when you guys are doing errands on Friday. So you're looking at those type of things. You want to keep that in the back of your mind and say, well, we save this much money by doing this, but we're still spending a big chunk of money eating out. So put that information in. So be sure to check that out. Download our spreadsheets. Feel free to use our contact form if you have any questions. If you happen to do the spreadsheet and you mess something up, you can obviously come back to our website and download a fresh one all over again if you want. But it should be pretty easy to use. Again, use our contact form if you have any questions. So if you go to our website, go to the blog pertaining to this subject, you'll see links to download. So you may be saying, well, wait a minute, Troy, I don't have Excel, I don't have Microsoft Office on my computer. Well, no problem. Just a quick side note here for the technical side. I strongly encourage, if you don't have Microsoft Office, we try to stay away from that product as well. You can go to Google. You have google.com/sheets is Google's version of Excel. They've got Docs, which is a version of Word. They've got all that type of stuff. All of that is free to use. If you have a Google account, so Gmail account or YouTube account or anything, you automatically get access to these items. And they are free to use. And the storage is on the cloud, but you can still download and save things to your computer if you want. But I think you have up to like 2 gig or 5 gig of storage for free, and then you pay a monthly fee above that if you need more. But check that out. So that's a free way to use that. So we're going to make a Google Sheets version of the doc of this spreadsheet available. We'll also have an XLS, so we'll have an Excel spreadsheet for you Microsoft users. But then we'll also have an ODS, which is Open Office. And if you're not familiar with that, that is an open source software that is just like Microsoft Office Suite. But it's a piece of software made by developers that want to leave it completely open source. It's free to download, and as far as I'm concerned, it functions just as well as Office, if not better. It is actually not as buggy as Office is. So there's 3 different formats there. So if you have a computer, you've got internet access, you should be able to take part in this challenge without having to buy any software.
But we'll also be making a printable.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Yeah, we'll have a PDF available there too. For those of you guys who want to go old school and just print out the PDF and fill it in by hand, then we'll have that option there as well. Well, what we'll do going forward is we'll touch base with this challenge once a month. So you look for that in some of our videos, and of course our blog will have that as well. So keep an eye out for that. And also, we're excited about this year. If you go back to our updates that we announced a couple weeks ago, each of our videos, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday videos, will be full-length videos, and we're just going to keep our episode numbers rolling there. So that's going to hopefully organize them better and just make more sense. So you'll see videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday uploaded at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and they'll just be rolling episode numbers.
Thank you so much for joining, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up to help get our videos recognized. You can find us on our website at redtoolhouse.com, and don't forget to check us out on Facebook.
All right, take care, everybody.